Hello and welcome back into the FCS Huddle. I'm Elliot Schall, alongside me, Craig Haley, the senior editor for FCS football with stats. And where it's always exciting talking about the FCS each week. And obviously we talked about, recapping the great week, the great season start that it's been, just a lot of parity in general. And now we got another conference getting ready to kick off this week for the 60th season, the Ivy League. And Harvard 10-0 last season, and they're obviously looking strong again. What can we kind of expect from the Crimson this season?
Well, you're right, Elliot. That Harvard's the team to beat. They were number one in their preseason poll for the Ivy League. Great program. They win a lot every year under Tim Murphy. This year, their offense looks exceptional. They have a lot back in the skill positions. Defense was outstanding last year. They did graduate some key players. They need to show that they can get it done there. Their main competitor this year looks like it'll be Dartmouth, and Dartmouth has the best quarterback in the league in Dallin Williams. Harvard's team to beat, fortunately for them, they get Dartmouth at home on Halloween. It's a veteran league. If you look down the standings, what stands out to me is the teams in the lower tier that are hoping to rise up. They all have a lot of returning starters. I think that means there's going to be some upsets on the way, and somebody's season is going to be spoiled.
Absolutely, and it's funny because, you talk about Harvard. You saud Ryan Fitzpatrick of the New York Jets, a Harvard alum, obviously have a great start to his season, going up against another former Harvard graduate, Desmond Bryant, on the Browns. So Harvard, they're good, and they do send guys to the pros, and they do well on the Wonderlic test, actually.
No
but
doubt.
Going back to the Ivy League, they're starting off this week with plenty of matchups against the Patriot League. What are some of the matchups we can kind of talk about and look forward to?
You're right. There's 6 Ivy Patriot League games going on. There are 8 total games for the Ivy League. 6 of the Ivy teams are on the road. Within their Patriot League matchups, I think matchup-wise, the one that stands out is Yale at Colgate. But I think the storyline would be the 2 new coaches at schools. Penn, it's just a great story where Al Bagnoli won 9 titles at Penn, coached there for 23 years. He retires. Three months later, Columbia lures him back to the sideline. Wow. Al makes his first appearance at Columbia. They're playing Fordham. His successor is Ray Prior. He coached alongside Al for all those years. He's taken Penn down to Lafayette, and it's just a great storyline that this has happened.
Right. Now here's the big question. Now, I know obviously the later start compared to a lot of the other teams in the FCS may have something to do with this, but will we ever see an Ivy League team going for that FCS playoff?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. Al Bagnoli always got tired of answering that.
Yeah.
And maybe he won't have to answer it as much at Columbia because they're a long way off from the playoffs. But I do think the league likes having a 10-game schedule, not going beyond a regular season. It's totally an Ivy League president decision. Most of the people involved in football would like to go to the playoffs, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. The Harvard-Yale game is so big for the Ivy League that I know, for instance, Tim Murphy, the Harvard coach, likes to have his season end there because it doesn't get any bigger than that.
Right.
Even if you go to the playoffs, outside of a deep run into the playoffs, it's not going to be any bigger for Harvard and Yale, that's for sure.
No, and some of the oldest teams, too, to be playing college football. So something to look at, in the Ivy League kickoff, again, this week. And stay up to date with everything FCS by checking out the website, fcs.football, and following them on Twitter at FCS_stats. And also follow Craig at Craig Haley, always keeping you up to date and giving you some good insights. I'm Elliot Schall, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching.